Welcome to a Drop Tent Media production.
You stuck in love, we are going to kill you.
So here we are on another week of Handle with Scare, where two cool friends, me and Anna, talk about anything that we really want to. So horror, tattoos,
What about terror and titillation?
a lot of terror, a lot of titillation.
I remember that.
I'm very proud of you. I stopped saying titillation because you lost it so many times.
Ghoul Friends was what got me.
Ghoul Friends and titillation got you. Regardless, here on this podcast, we talk about a whole bunch of horror, a whole bunch of random stuff.
Yes.
Honestly, whatever falls out of our mouth. So
Sometimes we get real deep and serious too.
And sometimes we also get real deep and serious.
Yeah, you know what? That's okay.
Yeah. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, follow us down below. You can follow the podcast on Instagram at handlewithscarex. You can follow Anna at Curls Jr. Tattoo. And you can follow me at Itty Bitty Trash Mouth.
Trash girl.
The Trash Girl. As always, we have new episodes dropping every Saturday. And don't forget to tell us what you want to hear. Don't forget to send us your tattoos. Really, whatever. So here we go.
It's time
It is time. It is time. Here we are.
for our favorite segment.
Yeah. Dumb tattoo of the week.
Yep.
Now, so what do we got?
We've got a commitment here.
So this was sent in from a good friend of our podcast, our good friend Adam from the Graveyard Gallery. Shout out if you like horror stuff, go shop at the Graveyard Gallery, go give them a follow. We will show that info in a minute. But
I'm also just hearing that you can hear our lovely, lovely banter at the Graveyard Gallery sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes he throws it on and takes a listen. Anyway, so he was kind enough to send one of his, what he affectionately calls a scumbag tattoo.
Yeah.
Up there. So we have this lovely portrait of John Wayne Gacy. Not gonna lie though, for being like hand blasted, that shit stayed. That shit stayed really well.
How old it is?
That's actually a good question. I haven't asked him, but that shit stayed, man. That blue still like is popping. Like it hasn't
Color
really.
in it stayed more than the black.
Yeah.
It's something else. Definitely a commit. I mean, John Wayne Gacy is definitely like the most interesting, for sure.
I think he's one of the most interesting. I also am not gonna lie. He was probably like, I know that this is not the best way to say this, but he was probably my favorite.
Problematic fave.
Yes, and I hate using the term favorite. I know it's whatever, but when it came to being really interested in true crime and like cases that stuck with you the most or you found the most interesting, whatever, John Wayne Gacy's was probably one of the ones that definitely stuck with me the longest.
My introduction to true crime was the movie with the guy who played Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yes.
He did a good job.
Yeah.
But it used to terrify me.
That's actually for sure, and we're going to talk about this later, but that's probably one of the better like true crime horror movies that came out. That one was like
historically
really good.
Document. I think the movies where
where it's not just a flat documentary.
Yeah, your dramatization, your reenactment.
Yeah,
they are typically not very good.
No, they're not. But that one was pretty spot.
Was all right.
Not really. I
just wanted to look at them. I didn't care about anything.
All right,
else.
fair enough. But we'll get there in a minute. But anyway, so yeah, we've got. I kind of like that his face is like almost comically large too.
Oh yeah,
really into
the
that.
style of the tattoo is really cool.
Really into it.
Really into it.
Yeah.
Good
so
job.
shout out to Adam. Thanks for sending in your tattoo, boo. So really quick, I just want to pan over. If you want to see more of the Graveyard Gallery, you can follow them on Instagram. They have some super cool horror collectibles in there. Some original art is in there. Can you click on that Hereditary head really quick?
It's so good.
Right there. Oh fuck! What the hell?
Harold Payman.
It's pretty big on the screen there.
Yeah,
It's fucking good.
Adam made that.
It's so dope.
That thing is fucking insane. It is so sick. Close-ups of it are so gnarly. But you can also follow their
this right here.
Yeah, they got a lot of good stuff in there. It's super cool. Go check it out. You can go to their website as well. This is what their website looks like. They've got a super fun commercial. A good friend of ours, Taylor, we love
Mummy
Taylor.
Dahlia.
Mummy Dahlia on TikTok, Mummy Dahlia on Instagram.
I just looked it up really quick because I need to make sure it was right.
Oh yeah, Mummy Dahlia on both. There she is, crawling around, little Samara baby.
Yes.
And that's also
Their
another good
commercial's
friend of
real
ours.
cute.
Yeah, and that's Salem. Oh, baby.
Yes, so cute.
But yeah, there's a lot of oddities in there. Horror merch. Super cool. Go check it out.
Amazing.
Should be 21 Main Street, right? Yeah, 21 Main Street, Butler, New Jersey.
Yes.
You can find figures, masks, merchandise. I think if you go to, different there we go. Yeah, so do you see some of those busts? Not that guy.
That's awesome.
That's just a Trick or Treat studio. But if you go to the
Oh my god. I can't believe you did
NJ, the Jason X one is fine. As much as I hate this, we'll do it because Anna loves it.
Oh, it's so cool.
It's so good.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so Adam made that.
Yeah, that's fucking phenomenal.
So you can, I do believe you can request customs from him. Don't
You
quote
can
me on that.
request more Jason X.
Yeah,
from
there's
him.
there's the
Hereditary
Hereditary
that's
head right
the
there. Yeah, there you go.
That's some shit. I want
So-
that.
You can buy your own head and
Of
various
a child.
other things.
Yeah.
So fucking sick. So good. So yeah, give them a follow. Check them out. Buy your own super cool bus. This bus he does an 8-bit version of at one point. I don't know if he's doing any more of these ones, but he did an 8-bit version one, and it was like purple with like a bright blue chain, and it
Oh
looked
my
so
God.
fucking good. But
All
yeah.
those Chucky dolls when they used to be in the
Oh, there you go. So up there, custom commissions and everything. So you can find that up there. So pretty much most of the pieces, unless
it's only 3 to 5 weeks.
it fluctuates though. But unless otherwise stated on the item, like all of the masks, busts, and custom items are fully hand sculpted, molded, casted, painted, and finished by the Graveyard Gallery.
So crazy.
Which is fucking cool. There's a couple ones, obviously, like the Feet of Chucky doll, like that specifically said that was from Trick or Treat Studios.
Yeah.
But if you click, a lot of these items are things that they've designed themselves. Fucking amazing artist. We actually might possibly do an episode with him in the future, so shout out below. Again, I already ran a poll on Instagram, but we're gonna do it here too. If you want us to actually bring Adam on, or even go to the Graveyard Gallery and take a look around,
We
let
could
us
do
know.
that. We
I
could
would
do a
love to do
vlog
that.
moment.
Little vlog momentum.
Vlog memento.
Yes. Anyway, so shout out to Adam. Thank you for the tattoo. Thank you for supporting us. Go
Yes.
be sure to give him the support right back.
Yes.
So speaking of all these various things like John Wayne Gacy, let's talk about true crime.
Well, my favorite true crime case is not all that scary.
That's okay. I feel like
my favorite is OJ. OJ's my favorite, and I don't care.
I feel like sometimes people kind of forget that that's considered a true crime case.
I think people forget that he almost fucking decapitated that woman. Like, I've gone to the Museum of Death in New Orleans and seen the crime scene photos. They are wild.
That's crazy.
He
I want to
literally
go there so bad.
almost decapitated that woman, and it was wild. I mean, he did get acquitted. The glove didn't fit, whatever. But You know, a lot of people think that he did it. I'm not going to share my opinion.
No, you're not going to share your opinion.
I mean, yeah, I think he kind of did that shit, but it's okay.
I like how you got so quiet about it. You're like, I mean, I'm not going to share my opinion, but I also think he kind of did it.
Yeah, but it's my favorite, like iconic. The Bronco.
Ugh, the Bronco.
The Bronco. That's iconic. The fucking spectacle of the glove.
The spectacle of the glove.
The
really
glove. They didn't even try to put that glove on. Johnny Cochran said, "Fuck that. Don't try to put the glove on at all."
Please do not
It's
put
just
that glove on.
Now, I think that the most comprehensive, the best way to learn about OJ is to watch The People versus OJ Simpson with John Travolta in it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you haven't watched it, that's actually a really good one to watch.
That's a really good one. And like, no, they don't talk about how he almost decapitated the woman, but he definitely did, and it was definitely pretty crazy. But it's like my favorite. It's just so iconic.
It is definitely like I feel like sometimes people forget, especially younger people, like that's one of the more recent of like a true crime case. So it is like a really big deal. But I think it gets like a little brushed aside and like put under the rug for sure.
I like iconic things like John Benet Ramsey, iconic.
Sure.
That little pageant poster, iconic.
The little pageant poster really got me.
She's iconic. She is you know, and then Dr. Phil did an interview with her brother. Weird. It was all weird. Fucking our homegirl, fucking Gypsy Rose.
Yeah, my favorite thing, you know what's crazy is, and I said we weren't going to get like crazy in depth with these cases, so if you don't know about a certain case that we are talking about, feel free to look it up, or we're going to drop some true crime related podcasts later.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like there's 1,000 different podcasts. We're not trying to steal anybody's thunder, but this is a big part of horror in general. Like true crime is still very much horrifying.
Yeah.
So, and as two people that are very much interested and have watched a lot of documentaries about true crime, it felt wrong to not do an episode about it. But if you are not familiar with the Gypsy Rose case, and you want to, but you don't want to watch another documentary, Hulu did a phenomenal job on their show, The Act.
And Joey King did a fabulous job.
That show, The
Act is the best.
Yeah, if you just put on like Hulu, this was considered more drama than horror for sure. But holy shit, when I tell you this shit was so good and so uncomfortable.
It was
to sit through.
Listen, proceed with caution because it is so uncomfortable. When she realizes what is happening and then gets a boyfriend, it is the most uncomfortable shit ever. The boyfriend coming in, he was the worst.
Yo, the boyfriend, everything about the boyfriend, so uncomfortable.
And everything about the wearing the wigs and the dress up situation and the guy.
The acting in this
is so good.
Phenomenal. And they've got some like really good people in this show.
Yeah, Patricia Arquette.
Oh my god, Patricia Arquette deserves like 8,000 awards.
Now I have watched some things about Gypsy Rose and how she feels about it, and it's like she has very mixed feelings about it because she does feel like there's still a level of Stockholm syndrome there where she does feel like her mom was portrayed in a really negative light, which is like really sad because it's going to be very hard for her to get past what happened.
Right, but you know,
but she definitely
this is like a hard one just to kind of like sit through in general, but I think like the case itself, like realistically, also is just
really horrible,
hard to. But like even wait, look at this side by side of like the real Gypsy Rose, that one. Look how good, like spot on that is with the faces. Crazy.
Now Gypsy Rose should be out soon, which is good because she shouldn't have been there to begin with.
Well, that's a hot take.
Now, if you have a hot take of Gypsy Rose about Gypsy Rose and whether she should be in jail, I don't think so. But whatever. That's self-defense, bro.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take for me, my friend.
Really?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Killer.
Don't get me wrong. I do feel for her to an extent.
They killed a whole person.
But they killed a whole person. So I actually do think that she should have been there. So
maybe
but
not.
that's like a whole hot ass take.
Let's get in the comments. I want to hear.
Get in the comments, yeah. Let us know what you think. One of my personal favorites is actually a documentary, not a remake or a dramatization of it, and that would be a Jonestown documentary. So for me, one of my most interesting, like fascinating true crime cases that like I really poured a lot into, besides John Wayne Gacy, was actually Jonestown.
Yeah, I think that we have that in common because it is so there's so much.
There's so much, but there's something to me about like cults and cult leaders that I just find like really interesting, because in my like for me, I'm like, I just don't understand it, and I can't understand blindly following somebody like this. So I find it all the more interesting. So they did a documentary called Jonestown Paradise Lost, which has a lot of reenactments, but also a lot of the and the reenactments are
good
fire.
Good reenactments. And
they have them intertwined with actual footage, so you can really see how good the reenactments are. But they also have his sons, and his sons are in the documentary, and at one point in the documentary his sons and some of the crew actually go to Guyana and go to where Jonestown, the settlement, was. And they're walking around and they're finding like pieces that the jungle has at that point like pretty much overtaken most of it, but you can still see like they're pointing out things and they're remembering being there. And part of the reason why they literally are still alive is because they were like away for like basketball, like a traveling basket, which like just blows my fucking mind. But like everything they did in this for like his mannerisms, his like drug abuse, his his like full breakdown of going from feeling like he was God to just watching him crumble is it's so insane.
It's so insane. But you know, and I have like I've gone like as deep as like people like have like theories like about like Jonestown. They have like there's a theory that it was racially charged, like a genocide situation from the CIA, which like I mean with the shit that happens around here with racism, I don't know, maybe. But you know, there's like a lot of speculation that the congressmen and the people that came over to Guyana to see what was going on knew exactly what was going on and and could have stopped it. There's a lot of speculation that this could have all been avoided, so it's very interesting. But then also just the fact that like what place do you have to be in your life to like blindly listen to somebody?
But that's what I always think to somebody about. To basically sign over all of your everything, like monetary possessions, houses, everything, and say that we're going to make basically a utopia in the rainforest. You guys are gonna do literally all the work, but it'll be awesome. So it's just really interesting to see kind of like the human condition,
and then
I guess.
With the way people were living, you know, a lot of the
not great.
No, they were not, but they were living really, really, really horribly before, so they probably thought, you know, at first that it was great. It's definitely one of my I guess favorite, for lack of a better word, ones to learn about.
One of the ones that you've poured the most, like.
One that I when I recently learned about it was the Toolbox Killer.
Oh, the Toolbox Killer is a brutal one. That one's really hard for me to listen to
because it's so much torture like they didn't just get murdered right away. It was some fucked up one, but definitely like not going to get too far into that, but I do suggest that you go watch Bailey Sarian's video about it.
Definitely if you want to,
but trigger warning, it's a bad one.
It's really, really aggressive. But speaking of like aggressive, and actually I feel like this one's very appropriate to bring up because of where we're located. Gary Heidnick. Because I do believe the first person that he kidnapped was on Thanksgiving.
Oh, not on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and weirdly enough, I do believe Gary Heidnick a little bit. They kind of started basing Buffalo Bill off of him a little bit, I do believe, if I remember correctly. But Gary Heidnick is actually from our neck of the woods, in the good old Philadelphia.
Yeah,
His house
I want to know
exists.
how I want to know how he got away with it in the good old Philadelphia for so long.
I mean, you know. But it blows my mind. So just as a weird tie-in, when I was in a burlesque competition, called Philadelphia Burlesque Battle Royale, season 8, shout out, I was a finalist.
Yes.
The very first week, they said the challenge was show us who you are.
Yeah.
So show us who you are as a person and a performer. And I actually chose a song that was true crime based.
Yeah.
And the song I chose was called Gary Heidnick from a band called Skinned, Skynd. They do all songs about true crime, which I kind of love. I think it's really interesting because they do it in a way, and I know I've talked about this like a little bit on the podcast before, but they do it in a way where they are not glorifying the perpetrator, but kind of just showing the case overall, and it's a lot of the time done from the perspective more so of the victims. So it doesn't feel distasteful to me. I'm sure there are people out there that find it super fucking distasteful and will like come for my neck about this. But like, if you read a lot of the comments on their videos, it actually like most people don't find it distasteful. They actually appreciate the way that they go about it. So the cool thing about the Gary Heidnick one is, one, Jonathan Davis from Korn is in there. Love that. But this is what I did because I was like, you know, I am a creepy bitch from Philadelphia, and like, what better to do than have this in there? But they, you know, show like him just going on and feeding these women dog food and keeping them in the basement and everything. Also really annoyed that they picked somebody to make him kind of look fine as fuck. Kind of rude. Little rude. But here we are. But Jonathan Davis in this, and it's like really haunting. They really have like him going back and forth, because the whole thing with Gary Heidnick was he was kind of like trying to play family a little bit. And like, well, he wanted these women to love him. So there's like this repetitive part in the song where it just goes like off, whip, chop, mix, shut up, I don't want to hurt you. And it's like this super creepy echoey that you've got like Jonathan Davis, who has a very like iconic creepy voice over top of it, and it's just it's really fucking good. I love the shit out of that. They have a Jonestown song that I have used for a number. That was cool.
Well, speaking of the you know, the debate, the long debate about the glorification of this, how do you feel about, I mean, I know how you feel about, you know, the serial killer tattoos, the merch, the donning of the merch. How do you feel about that? I know how you feel, but I don't.
I honestly I don't mind it. I think there's a way to go about it. Like, I do have quite a bit of true crime items, whether it's merch or just like items in my home. I think it's really interesting, but I also think that there's like a way to go about it. Like, honestly, one of my favorite true crime pieces that I've ever seen is a piece of merch. I actually don't own it, but it's from a company called Western Evil that does a lot of true crime merch. And they have a shirt for Eileen Wuornos that says Our Lady of Florida. And honestly, Eileen is one of the cases that I kind of love, because, listen, we don't know for sure if every person that she murdered was a rapist, but like, to be honest, I'm kind of compelled to believe her.
Yeah.
So do I think that this is going to sound fucked up, and I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of people come after me, but I'm going to go for the mentality of good for her.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
good for her.
I have a shirt that says I'm with her that has Eileen Wuornos on. I would probably not offense to anybody that has a serial killer tattoo. I probably wouldn't do that. But I do have some merch. I just choose the settings that I wear it in.
Yeah.
That's but mainly because you just never know who you're around, and I totally understand that mentality, but definitely I've seen some creative.
Yeah, I mean, like, realistically, like I said, I don't really have much room to talk. Not gonna lie, I have a true crime vest. I have a battle vest that is full true crime stuff, so all of the patches and everything are all different true crime cases. It's just something that I find interesting. None of my patches are saying anything like to glorify these people, which I guess is like the difference, maybe.
Yeah.
It's more so like I like it for what it is.
Yeah.
It's a part of like
history,
and I choose to acknowledge it. But have I literally ever gone and been like,
yeah, this is a good thing?
Yeah.
Except Eileen Wuornos.
Yeah, well,
it could have been a good thing.
Well, not necessarily that it was a good thing, but it just like I don't feel any like super I guess one way or another with that case. Like I read it and I'm like, oh, okay. Shout out to Lily Robb for her portrayal of Eileen Wuornos in American Horror Story Hotel. Really good. Really fucking good. I'll give it that. I actually really liked that episode too. Speaking of which, in American Horror Story Hotel, I guess content warning or spoiler alert, not content warning. If you haven't watched it, there is that one episode where it's Devil's Night.
Yeah.
And all of the different iconic serial killers, true crime serial killers come together and they have this like dinner party that they do every year with March. And so you've got Eileen, you've got Richard Ramirez, you've got Jeffrey Dahmer, Pogo, the Zodiac, which is so funny because like everybody else has that personality and it's like it's really they actually did a very good job. Like overall all of the personalities pretty much matched up with who they were portraying. And then you have the Zodiac in literally all black with the Zodiac symbol because no one knows who it was.
Do we still not know who it is, or did they?
Do we still not know who the Zodiac is?
They said something a couple weeks ago.
I feel like they always say something about like we know who the
Zodiac
Zodiac is.
Deal. Like I feel like it would be a big fucking deal if it was.
How do you feel about the Zodiac movie, speaking of which?
I like the Zodiac movie with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. I also really liked it.
I liked it. I think everybody likes that movie. I do.
I don't know. I feel like there was probably some people that didn't like the Zodiac. I liked it though.
Now here's something that you can do if you don't want to think about the reality of true crime. You can watch Silence of the Lambs. You can watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, you can watch the ones that are like kind of but and then on that sense, so here's my thought. Let's do this as a hot take. We'll see if you think how I think. So for the people out there that actually get like genuinely annoyed and like angry that people are interested in true crime and think it's gross that you have the merch and have the movies, how do you feel about the people that have literally taken the concept of these movies and design them into horror movies? Do you hate them for doing that? Because in a way, aren't they paying homage the same way that we all are?
That's a fair. I would say I never thought of it that way, but that is a fair.
That's my thought. I love Silence of the Lambs. I fucking love Buffalo. I mean, we've talked about my obsession with Silence of the Lambs. Shout out to my dad, who I know in my brain is probably in the kitchen right now going, because he loves that shit. But like, to me, what is the difference between me having cool true crime merch, watching the documentaries, watching the Inspired by series, and appreciating them for what they are and acknowledging that the cases are fucking terrible, but it is still like interesting to watch? The same way that I watch Silence of the Lambs, the same way that I watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all of these things that were inspired by true crime.
I have to tell you, I don't really know how to have conversations with somebody who does not immerse themselves in some level of true crime, because it's just like I have met people who have never watched a true crime thing, don't know that these things happen. You have to be aware that these things happen.
Yeah, I feel like it's also just like kind of a deeper topic of like being fascinated by the human condition and like everything like that. Like I watch it because it's crazy to think about, but at the same point you have to acknowledge like this stuff happens. This is real life shit that people have gone through, and you've watched these things. Like, are we doing a disservice by not acknowledging that it exists and learning about it and finding out about it? I don't think we are. But there are some people that are like, oh, you're glorifying, bless you, glorifying it by watching it. And I don't think that that's necessarily true. Now, it's different if somebody is out here like, my daddy is fucking Charles Manson, heart. Like, that's fucking
weird.
different.
The Columbiners?
Yeah, like, that's way fucking different. And I am not saying that is the move, because that is not the fucking move.
No.
But you can actively enjoy watching true crime, learning about it, find it fascinating.
Yeah.
Without being a fucking scumbag about it.
Yeah, you definitely can. I just would suggest not going near Tumblr or Reddit about the true crime. That's always where you find the scumbags.
It's the people that glorify the murderer and find
It's
like
the high schoolers.
it's the ones that are like, oh, he's so dangerous and edgy and so sexy. Like, that's fucking gross. Like, we're not doing that here.
We're not doing that here.
We're not doing that here.
We're just genuinely interested. And let's before we wrap up the true crime, let's go over some things you can go to listen to about true crime.
Yeah, so some of my favorite true crime podcasts would be Morbid, Last Podcast on the Left, fucking, why can't I think of the one that I am thinking of? Oh no. Hold on, while I'm thinking about it, what you can say the
well, first of all, Bailey Sarian got me through quarantine.
Okay.
So yes. So Bailey Sarian, always very pleasant. Definitely like not problematic. Definitely haven't heard anything fucked up.
Oh, I know what one I forgot to say.
And also I listened to Sword and Scale.
My Favorite Murder is the other one too.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. And then I'm looking for the name of this girl. I think her name starts with an A, and I can't. Oh no, it's Kendall Ray. She's a YouTuber who talks about true crime. You know, I like to support the women's.
We also have another person that we know who does some streaming and talks about some true crime and some other stuff.
Junebug, right? Correct.
Fetch.
Oh, I was
Fetchbug.
Fetchbug is like
Fetchbug is the name. So the name of the show is More Too Scary.
Yeah, is she going by Alicia on there, or is she going by Fetchbug?
Fetchbug.
Okay.
So I believe it's Twitch only right now. More Too Scary. I don't know their streaming schedule. You'd have to double check, but I know that they do.
Let me see if I can
talk about some true crime stuff. I think they talk about other stuff too. They do some like makeup live streams, but I know that they've talked about some cases in the past, so they would be worth checking out. A friend of ours.
Live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 p.m.
There you go. So you can check that out on Twitch. More Too Scary. Good friend Fetchbug. Yeah. Or is it maybe just I think it's Fetchbug.
It's Fetchbug.
Yeah, Fetchbug. So yeah, I think that is that. I don't want to do a fuck, marry, kill on true crime. So let's do this instead. So we already talked about kind of like our most cases that we were most interested in. What was the case that like you were kind of meh on? That it was either too much for you to handle, like you just couldn't handle it, or you just like didn't find it that interesting?
I mean, honestly, I don't really find Ted Bundy that interesting.
Yeah, that's funny. I was literally about to say the same thing.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm like,
Ted Bundy is meh, and honestly, I cannot stand the Netflix original that they did of him with Zac Efron. It was mediocre.
It's not about that.
It was mediocre, and I didn't like it.
It's not about it was definitely not a good movie.
No, I know, but we didn't get a chance to talk about that. So my two mediocre ones that they did, like movie-wise, shockingly ended up both being with the fucking Disney Channel stars. The one that they did, My Friend Jeffrey.
I didn't see that. Is it bad?
Trash.
Okay.
There's gonna be so many people that come.
But there's also like another Jeffrey Dahmer movie that's way better.
That's way better. Or My Friend Dahmer, I think is the name.
Hold on, y'all. You need to check out. You need to watch I know we're talking about what we don't need to watch, but you need to watch Helter Skelter.
Oh yeah, Helter
It's the
Skelter's
fucking
so
best
good.
one. It's the best.
It is a really good one.
And Monster.
Monster's also a really good one. Also, like on a just like a side note, not fully true crime, but it does kind of run alongside of it. If you've never seen the show Aquarius, it's got the dude from X-Files in it. And
Not David Duchovny or yes, David.
no,
Duchovny.
yeah,
Okay.
David. So he is a detective, and it's during that time. So there's like a couple different storylines that kind of are happening at the same time, and one of the storylines is Charles Manson, and like watching how these people kind of fell into it and like everything. So it is worth watching. It's very interesting, but that's not the whole premise of the show. There's other stuff that's going on.
Interestingly enough, I've never seen anybody do a bad Charles Manson. They never fuck it up.
Yeah, well, so the person in that show, I know that we said we were going to just quit it, but I can't believe I didn't get a chance to talk about the show. The person that plays Charles Manson in the show Aquarius is from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, he plays Ramsay Bolton, but we'd have to double check because I want to say that I'm right, but I might be wrong. So if you type in Aquarius, TV show, and then you go to right there, Ethan Anthony. He's the very last one. So he plays Charles Manson in this show really, really well. He does a very, very good job. But if you go to his thing, he was in Game of Thrones. Pretty sure it's Ramsay Bolton. But I could 1,000% be wrong and thinking of the wrong person. Okay, no. So I'm thinking of the wrong fucking person. Who the fuck? Can you just type in Game of Thrones and then just do his name? So it's Gethin, I believe. Yeah. Who the fuck was he in this goddamn show? That Renly Baratheon. That's who he was. So I had the two letters, but the wrong name. Ramsay Bolton, Renly Baratheon, two completely different fucking people, but I had the R and the B. Sue me on it. I haven't watched Game of Thrones since it ended because I was still
watched Game of Thrones.
All right, well, shut up. We don't talk about that here. Either way, love this guy. He did probably one of my favorite Charles Manson interpretations ever.
Yes. I honestly think that we can't fuck, marry, kill this episode.
No, we can't.
Definitely
Not at all. Not at all. So we'll just leave it at that. Ted Bundy, mediocre cases.
Ted Bundy is boring.
Jonestown is interesting.
OJ is more interesting than Ted Bundy, and he killed 2 people.
You know what one hurts me the most?
What?
We'll just end it on this one. Which one hurts us the most? Columbine.
It's the worst.
Columbine hurts the most for me.
That in the movie theater.
Yeah.
The big shootings.
Honestly, literally school shootings.
Mass shootings kill me.
School shootings in particular.
What's the one, the elementary school?
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, Sandy Hook.
Horrible. Horrible, and there are people on Facebook who think it didn't really happen.
I know, that's fucking disgusting. Yeah, I feel like any of the ones that are like school shootings hurt me the most. Mass shootings in general are sad, but anytime it's like schools and like children, it like I can't fucking
place
like
where you go every day.
My heart fucking breaks for that shit. So there's that. We'll end it here. That was a really sad, serious episode.
Oh well.
Wow.
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller, a chud.
What did it mean to you to see that? Did it mean they love me?
Place to look to the past.
Fucking mess you made of things again.
This has been a Drop Tent Media Production.